Hello, analytics class. I'm back again. So in this video, we are going to go through step 1 of your Chicagoland popcorn project. Now, on your screen, you'll see the document that's called Chicagoland Popcorn Tableau Instructions. And so if you do not, these are the things that you should have ready before you play the rest of this video. You should have Tableau opened on your computer, and you should have this document handy. Now, I'm not going to be showing this document. I'll be reading it. It'll be on my other screen, but you do want to have this document handy because this is going to give you the step-by-step instructions, and I'm not going to do every single instruction. I'm going to show you how to do certain things, and then you'll have the tools that you need to complete the rest of them. Okay? All right, so remember that before you did this, you should have done what I mentioned in the other videos, which is you should have read the first page of the South Dakota versus Wayfair, and you should also have read the case and highlighted the important things there. Okay? So here is our goal. We want to, let me make this a little bigger. We want to answer the questions: which state does Cpop have economic nexus based on the total sales revenue test? So that means in which states do total sales exceed the sales revenue threshold set in Wayfair? And that's on that first page of that document. In which states does Cpop have economic nexus based on the total orders test? Then, which states does Cpop have economic nexus based on the thresholds defined as constitutional in Wayfair? That is, the total sales into that state exceed the total sales revenue threshold and/or order threshold. And then, as a result of those, which states does Cpop have economic nexus based on the total undiscounted sales revenue test? That is, the total undiscounted sales into that state exceed the sales revenue threshold set in Wayfair. Now, in this video, we're just going to go through step 1. Okay? So, if you do not have this document handy, or you don't have Tableau opened on your computer, pause the video for a minute and then come back, and then we're going to work on this together. Okay? All right, so here is Tableau, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to upload that text file. Remember, I showed you that in the previous video. We're going to upload that text file, so we're going to click on here, over here. Let me just do that again. You can always rewind here, but we're going to click over here where it says text file. And then you're going to navigate on your computer to wherever you have that particular file saved. So here it is for me. So I'm clicking on, it says text document, Chicagoland Popcorn Sales 2021. So I'm going to click on that, and that's going to bring the file in to Tableau, and it's going to look like this. Okay? So once you have that done, the next thing we're going to do is, notice here, here's our data. Notice over here our columns. They don't have useful names, right? They're called F1, F2, F3, F4. Because of the way the data was set up, there were no column headers, so Tableau doesn't know what this data is. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to rename each of these columns with what's in that column. And that's in that document that I just showed you. So the first thing it tells us is rename F1 to record ID. So you're going to come here, click on this little drop down, and you see rename. Okay, that's all. And then we're going to just type in here record ID. All right. So now the name of that is record ID, which is clearly much more helpful. F2 is going to be called order number. And they have abbreviated it, so we'll just do it the way they've done it, order num. Okay, like that. And we'll do one more. F3 is going to be named date and time. So rename date and time. All right, so now pause the video and you're going to rename the rest of these columns. And I'm going to pause my video and finish it up so you don't have to sit through all of this. It'll give you a couple minutes and some practice. So you're going to go all the way down to column 13, and you're going to rename all of those columns. By then, you'll be very good at renaming columns in Tableau. All right, so I'm pausing for now. Finish up renaming all of those columns based on the information that's in the instructions. Okay, so I'm back, and I have done hopefully the same thing that you've done. And I've renamed all 13 columns all the way down to number 13, which should be zip code. Okay, so now we have all of our columns named. Now, next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that our data types are correct. Because remember, if our data type is not right, we're not going to be able to do the proper type of analysis on it. All right, and Tableau is going to treat the data differently. Say if it's string data or categorical data as opposed, or text data as opposed to numerical data, right? So our next requirement. So now I'm on D, letter D. So I'm in step 1, letter D. Record ID and order number are identifiers. In other words, the number doesn't measure anything. So the number, it is a number, but it's really not numerical data that we want to be, say, adding up, because it's just an ID and an order number. So we want to change these both from number to string. So we're going to come up here in the upper left corner and click on the little number thing, because we don't want this to be number anymore. And we're going to come down here and we're going to call it string. Okay, so you see the data changed a little bit, and we're going to do the same thing for order number. So even though it's a number, we're going to treat it as string data. All right, so that's letter D. Now letter E says change the data type from ABC, or from string, to geographic role for the city, state, and zip code. All right, so let's just look here in the meanwhile. Here we have, this looks like, can I make this bigger? Yeah, okay. This looks like date and time has got a little picture of a calendar. That's good. Quantity is numeric. That's good. The flavor and the size are both string data, as they should be. The product price and sales are both numerical data, and the tax is numerical data, and the sales are numerical. Those are all numerical types of data. Now, the city is showing up as string data, but we don't want this to be string data because we're going to need to summarize by state, right? So let's make sure that these all have the proper designation. So we're going to come here. Now this is city. So you're going to come all the way down here where it says geographic role, and the role we're going to assign is city. Okay, so again, I came up here, I clicked on geographic role, and then you go to city. All right, we're going to do the same thing for state and for zip code. So click up here. This is the state, so we're going to go down to geographic role, and we're going to choose state or province. And then the last one is zip code, which is showing up as numerical, but it's not, it's geographic. So we're going to go again, geographic role, and this time it's going to be zip code. Okay, so that completes step 1 of the Chicagoland popcorn case. Beautiful thing about video, you can go back and rewind it if you need to, but hopefully you found that pretty simple. So the next step we're going to do is going to be step 2, and that will be in our next video. So I will see you there.